You're not awful, Nick.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you.
This is a self-esteem building session. This week we're joined by our genius friend Andy on what is the last episode we recorded with our old mixer. So say goodbye to that buzz because it's going to be gone forever.
So Andy, before we start,
I'm still a virgin, man. I'll fucking admit it. Right fucking here. I've seen one breast. It was accidental. That's it.
By accidental, I mean.
Are we talking you saw someone breastfeeding?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
I remember once Nick came in and told me that he had seen a tit in real life because William James's wife was breastfeeding in Mom and Dad's room. He walked in there.
I do remember that quite fondly.
Dad probably accidentally walked in there.
Your first orgasm, huh?
Yeah.
Very good.
But the first tit I ever saw was way, way prior to that. That was back in daycare. Remember Brandy Franskite? Didn't you later
she
find...
She was 2, buddy. That doesn't count.
Bare-breasted picture
of Brandy Franskite on the internet. Yeah, it was so random.
Was it like just some random porn site, or was it?
Yeah, it was like an amateur.
Keep in mind, this is like a 1998 amateur porn site, so it took like 8 hours to load.
When did you ever see her tit?
I've never seen anyone I know on a porn site, and I'm waiting for the day.
Do you dream about it?
Well, yes.
It depends on the girl. Really.
It's like the porn would be 10 times better right then and there.
Again, it depends on it. No, I remember Brandy, we were just roughing around in the backyard. She was probably a 7th or 8th grader. I don't know why she was still in daycare.
Yeah.
Was she retarded?
No.
That would make me feel a lot worse about this. And she wasn't wearing a bra, but she was wearing a T-shirt, and I happened to be under her legs, and I saw some... and I saw some boob.
I remember, what was the name of the pool that was...
And then we later saw her boobs on the internet, weirdly.
Yeah, and they were huge.
Yeah. They were huge back then, too.
What was that pool that like hurt your feet at Baker Middle School? That pool, remember?
Harmon
Pool?
No, it was Harmon Park. The pool at Harmon Park. It wasn't at our school.
Okay. Anyway, yeah.
We had the greatest middle school ever if there was a pool.
It was at Baker. It was like a little outdoor pathetic pool.
Okay.
Anyway, one time I saw a girl's tit in there. And then there was a girl that gave me and Chris Klein like a total striptease in the toy room once at daycare. She took off all of her clothes.
Wow.
She played with her vagina a little. No shit.
Growing up at a daycare, Andy, you see
grandma.
some crazy shit. Like, just kids experimenting with each other. Brother and sisters in that one case.
Jesus Christ.
I'll bet Starla's on the internet. Her name was Starla.
Starla, she's
some aging
whore. I mean,
she had rough hands. It would have to be some fetish sandpaper hand website.
Gross.
A rake job. Yeah.
So I tell my wife when she's giving me a bad hand job, I call her sandpaper hands.
There you go. Thanks, Starla.
I'm going to call her Starla now. And then I'm going to lay on top of her on the floor and hump her and have her call me her brother. That's what they would do.
No,
they would hump.
Remember
one time she ate like an entire tube of toothpaste in the bathroom.
What does that have to do with it?
She was so weird.
In the driveway. It was crazy.
How many strippers are out there named Starla? Do you think she's one of them?
Oh my god.
That number's way down. There's such a or like Destiny or Magic.
That's true. We are talking fake names. And this was her real name. She couldn't be a stripper.
Then there were just your normal running around the house being a terror kids. Like that kid that smeared shit in all of our wall sockets. His own shit.
A kid named Chris. Yeah, he would.
Keep in mind, these are the only kids that would. These are the only kids with parents that were naive enough to let their kids go to my mom's daycare.
Yeah, this Brandy Franskite stuff was when Grandma owned the daycare. It should be said, and there was more of a wide array of kids, and we were younger. We were at the same age as all of them.
We were also the superstars of that daycare.
Not so much when Grandma ran it, but by the time we lived there and got a little bit older than everybody.
When we called the shots and started hitting the kids in the face.
Like we'd pick what game we're going to play.
Only the ones that deserved it, Andy. I don't need that glance.
No, it's like a gangster movie or something. Nice.
I did hit that kid, Jason Gleason, in the face with the baseball once, I remember. And he started bleeding.
I'm going to challenge you right off the bat, Andy.
fuck, bring it. Are we even on? 'Cause I want.
Yeah, we're on.
We're always
Record this
rolling.
stuff. Okay.
Watch what you say.
You probably want to bring
In
it a
the
little closer
bathroom?
to your
Okay.
face. Who added to my notes? I have several notes here. Little talking points for tonight.
Okay, good.
And handwriting not my own, scrawled in at the end, says Andy's Andy's gayness. So Andy,
Oh.
let's start with that.
We can start with the gayness, as I said earlier.
Who has
Version.
access to my notes?
I don't
this
know.
feels like a breach of
That's
privacy.
not even this. It's not this pen.
You're right. It doesn't match up with the color pen you
Okay,
have.
turn this shit off. Handwriting analysis.
Now that we're on the subject, though, Andy, have you ever had a gay thought about your brother? You didn't let me finish.
Mainly for you two guys. Mainly for you. I mean, I don't know PJ well enough, but
Do you remember the first time we met, Andy? That was going to be my real first question.
You're wearing a shirt. You're wearing a shirt.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you're wearing pants too.
It wasn't at the beach.
No, it wasn't at the beach.
By the way, if it was at the beach, I'd still be wearing a shirt.
And it wasn't at swim practice.
Yeah. Right,
No,
West End, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Where?
And there's
Sorry.
relevance to the T-shirt. I
Yeah.
know you're getting somewhere
Yeah,
with the
no,
shirt.
you're wearing a Harvey Danger T-shirt, but it just had HD on it.
Yeah.
And the first thing I said to you was, is that HD, the modern English modernist poet, instead of HD, the band?
That's the first thing Andy ever said to me. And the first thing I ever said to Andy was, "You fucking pretentious asshole."
And then you fell asleep right there, and I don't know. So I drank your beer, and I never thought I'd see you again. So.
That means there was never one moment in my life that I thought I was smarter than you, even for a minute.
Fuck, man, I cut you down right there. Sorry about that.
And I know
have
you
a bigger
didn't.
dick, so you win at life. So there.
Thank you for saying that on recording.
Okay, leave that in. That's the please.
Are you producer tonight?
No.
Leave that in, cut that out. You guys might want to wrap this up. When you guys bring beer to a party, even if it's a BYOB on the invitation,
Right.
which means B for beer, does it depend on the party?
I think it usually means. What did it start out meaning? Beef or beer?
I don't fucking know.
BYOB.
Yeah, I know a BYOB. I don't.
I always
anything
interpret it
else
as
but
beer.
Yeah.
Uh,
Bag, or isn't it like bag liquor or something like that?
What? Like at a grocery store, we've got some help.
Bring your own beverages?
I don't
Beverages.
think
We're being
Or
told
like,
it's beverages.
You go get like a
That seems
fifth
like
of whiskey or some
a
shit
generic
in a
version
paper
of
bag.
it.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Nobody says beverages.
Yeah.
Especially in a party invitation. That doesn't sound like a party to me.
Is this
We'll have
party?
some of that
Is this party an RSVP only?
No, not necessarily, but it specified that you bring your own beer.
Is it BBQ?
Would you stop?
Outdoor BBQ?
Yeah, and the invitation also talks to you when it opens.
Hannah Montana singing.
You're not going to be at that party?
Maybe.
Okay, so you bring an ass ton of beer because there's going to be a lot of people at this party, and you don't want to be the asshole that brings a six-pack and sits in the corner. That's me, and replace beer with tall boys. Okay.
40s or worse. Yeah.
Yeah, 40s are bad. But let's say you bring the beer, winding up. There's still like 6-7 beers left in the fridge that you brought. Do you ever take that back with you?
Oh no! If they let me.
If they let you, or if they
let
don't
me.
see you.
Yeah, basically, if it's early enough in the morning, they can, I'll walk out with them. I'll drink them on the way out the door.
Can I add on to that question?
Yeah, that was for you too.
This is a personal experience of mine. Let's say there's a party at your house. Beer is left there. A week later, it's drank, and your friend asks for it back and is pissed off that you drank it.
That's a personal experience?
Is that, yeah. Who's in the wrong there? Is he in the wrong?
No, the
I
buddy's
told
in
him
the wrong.
repeatedly. He's not wrong?
No, he's wrong. That's
okay.
bullshit. You leave,
You're renting out my fridge, buddy?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, and who leaves beer for a week and then expects it?
Oh, yeah. It
like
was
maybe
like...
the next morning you drink one.
And I think it was even like a week later, like I just
Did you
mentioned...
say the next morning you drink a beer?
He didn't even
Leave that
ask
in.
for it back. It was like a week later I mentioned that I had drank that beer. He was like, that's fucked up, man. That's fucked up. That wasn't your beer to drink. I had to leave it there. I didn't want to drive home with it in my car. I don't know if he actually said all this. That was horror, by the way. I think he was more mad about this guy whose name I won't say in the interest, especially recently for privacy, that he didn't like very much. Like, I drank the beer with that guy. I think that made him more mad.
I only ask because, I don't know, I'd say 90% of the time, if I realize that there's beer left and that I was responsible for bringing it, I'll leave it like, hey, thanks for letting me come hang out. But that other 10% of the time that I'm really drunk and it looks really good to me still, I will, if I have a backpack, I'll take it with me.
Nice.
I don't know why that occurred to me, guys. I thought of that at the beer store.
Did I do that to you one time? I'm
yeah,
sorry.
a couple
Okay,
of times,
sorry.
Andy.
Right.
That was a good talking point. I like that.
Another question, kind of related. How do you feel about this being a secret intervention?
Man, you brought a lot of beer for this fucking intervention. So I'm
to
totally
make you
for it.
comfortable.
Okay, good.
Crack that open. Let's talk about your feelings.
A lot of times on intervention, they'll show the guy like shoot up after he agrees to go to treatment, and they're just like they put a little thing on the TV that says, "Oh, he's shooting up again," so that he won't go through withdrawals on the airplane and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. They just say, "Okay, go ahead and get high one more time."
Yeah, no,
it seems weird to me.
I've seen that.
So yeah, we can bring beer to your intervention, especially if it's not for beer.
Oh,
how do you know which addiction we're intervening on?
Seriously, man.
I don't know how many
My
addictions
fault.
you have, but is there anything else that we could be trying to stop you from?
Oh, well, that and like the drawer under the forks there is just filled with Percodan. And I got the combination of the lock, so fuck off, okay?
Andy, I took a Vicodin recently.
Good for you.
Oh, man, it was good for me. I'm not big into pills, but it did something for me. It did something special that night.
What?
Because, I smoke so much pot that it gives me a calming effect, but almost a dulling effect, whereas this, I realized it as it was happening, and that made it a little more enlightening for me.
Yeah, there's the little euphoria.
That's exactly it. What about, I'm going to ask PJ this. Have you ever taken ecstasy?
No.
Have you ever seen a movie with a really good ecstasy scene? That's the closest I've been.
I guess if you like Go, that's basically every scene.
Like, oh, Go, yeah.
Yeah.
I know the names of some drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Viagra's a good one. So I hear.
I know that Vicodin doesn't work for me. I took 2 on the bus on the way over here. My legs still hurt.
Speaking of buses and drugs, I did the one time I ever did cocaine. I don't know if I ever talked about this on the show. The only time I did it was probably about 4 years ago, maybe.
No shit.
Yeah, I was in Portland. Storytelling was there. I was visiting her, and she had some cocaine. She had her own problems at the time, and she'd gone to work, but I was like crashing there while I was on vacation, and I knew where it was because I was there when she bought it, and I saw where she stashed it because she wanted to keep it away from her roommate. But I knew where it was, and she didn't expect me to bust in there. I'd barely started smoking pot at this time. And I made a point when I started smoking pot, like, this is it for me. I'm not going to try anything else. It's not going to be a gateway drug. And it wasn't, except for the one time I did coke. But I was there by myself. I pulled my, I didn't know what I was doing. Like I said, just basing this on movies.
Did you cut it, or did you, like, snort up some big rock?
It was, like, in a little vial, so it was already pretty much cut up. So I put it out there on the coffee table, a glass coffee table, so it was like real Serpico shit going on. Should I have said Scarface? Either works, right? No, just Scarface?
Yeah, I think
Mainly Scarface.
All right, thank you, Andy. Thank you, IMDb. Andy T. So, yeah, then I pull my Subway card. The Subway card that I still have in my wallet. And sometimes I worry about it, like it's going to jam up their system.
You guys want to suck on it or something?
I know,
like
give it
that?
like
See if our lips go numb?
And so, yeah, I just did it. I grinded it up or whatever you do, and I don't know if I took a lot. Like, I took a couple of lines, but I could feel it right away. Yeah. And apparently a coked out Nick is really lame because I was there by myself, and all I did was clean her whole house, like, obsessively, and enjoying it. Like, I had music cranking, and I had the vacuum going. Music going over the vacuum so that I could still rock out. I couldn't even hear that vacuum, but I was vacuuming.
I think she used you. She did that on purpose.
That sounds like the right kind of coke high.
And it was like $10 worth of coke, which I don't think whatever she bought, it wasn't a lot. And so,
did you just do it all?
No, I didn't do it all. I did enough to where I tried to make it look like I hadn't done it, like spreading it out, you know.
In the vial?
Yeah, it's the same way that you're pretending to eat your peas when you're a kid, but you just swirl them into your mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
And so, but that wasn't the worst part. Like, first of all, when she came home from work, I told her immediately because I didn't think I could hide it. Like, I was still like jumping out of my own skull.
You were all coked up and wanting to talk about it.
And wanting to snort more coke, but I knew I had to wait for her, otherwise it would all be gone.
You're like, hey, let's finish it off?
Yeah. I was into it, dude. I was into it. And then, but that wasn't the worst part because I'd just gotten a job, and it wasn't in Portland, it was in Tacoma. So I had to catch the Greyhound like an hour after we'd snorted a bunch of coke.
Oh, that's awful.
Jesus.
Yeah, so I'm just freaking out inside of my own head, and I can't fall asleep. I can't concentrate. I didn't have an iPod this is pre-iPod. I just want to state that for anybody, not just me. And I just and I could feel like boogers hardening in my nose. I don't know if that's normal.
Don't you just want to eat them?
A little bit, yeah.
Have your lips go numb?
Is that weird?
I don't know if
That's
it's
my
usual.
Coke story, guys. You didn't think that it would end with me eating my own boogers. Curveball.
I'm walking into work eating
Being on the
burgers.
bus afterwards sounds awful.
Yeah, that's what
That
killed it.
sucks.
If not for that terrible, terrible bus ride, I'd be coked out right now. No, but pot is good for me, and like really, the pills don't do it for me either. They work for a little bit, and that Vicodin was great, but like I couldn't do that every day or even every week. I get that gross.
I think pills are
Biley feeling
something
in my
that you do
stomach.
not want to get into. Pills seem to be
Me
like
or anybody,
anybody.
Okay.
It seems like one of the most
especially me though.
one of the most addicting things there is.
I'd take pills over pot or pretty much anything. But
Yeah,
I don't
you've
know.
never been much of a pot smoker.
No, I used to be though when I was like 18,
I remember-
20, and I just
If I'm crossing any lines, let me know. But I think the second or third time I ever met you, your brother smoked me out, and
Yeah.
I think you were smoking that night.
Yeah.
So I didn't really know at the time whether that was something you did or not. But I've known you pretty well since that time for
Yeah.
several years. And no, you're not a pot smoker, and I'm okay with it. We don't hang out as often as we could, but
I can't. It just drives me nuts. Like I get all fucking weird. And
What do you mean
depressed
by
and
weird?
paranoid.
Like-
like depressed, paranoid, like even like the tiniest amounts, I'll just fucking freak out.
yeah, I had a freak out recently
Yeah.
too. It does happen every time, or is that just like a bad high
No,
that
it
you
really
have?
got every time. Even when it was just like one bong hit, and I was like, oh shit, gotta go, guys. Gotta
Yeah.
hide in the closet and hold myself. You know. It was,
Yeah, I definitely know what you mean there. I've been wrestling with the pot issue in my head. Might be time to back off a
What's
little.
the issue? Is my first question.
I don't seem to enjoy it so much either. It's like you say, you can just I can just feel instantly that now I'm in this place and I don't like it anymore.
You don't like it?
No.
You still like it when you're watching movies, though.
Well, I'm not talking about being high every time. I'm talking about the more paranoid, I hate myself, what does everyone think of me in the world type highs are coming more and more often than just relax, be able to sit back and relax kind of thing.
I rarely have a problem with the relaxation factor when it comes to pot. That's
Well,
why I
you're-
smoke it as much as I do.
Aren't you lucky?
I'm not saying it to brag by any means. I wish that you were the pot smoking brother that I knew 2 weeks ago.
Oh, hey, I'm smoking pot here. It's more like when I'm when I'm all alone thing. You never know where my mind's going to go
That's
when I don't
true.
have anyone to talk to.
See, for me, when I have the occasional pot freak out, it's never when I'm alone. I can smoke pot when I'm alone and never have a problem, unless I'm drinking a bunch too. Then the demons come. But when I'm in a big group though, and I'm super high, sometimes that'll turn on me. By sometimes I mean hardly ever, but sometimes.
yeah, man, I remember this one time. Like we were getting high at someone's house.
You and I,
Yeah.
Okay.
You know.
our friend's house.
Yeah, our friend's house. And, I didn't have shit, and I had to crawl into the bedroom, and I spent the rest of the night there. You're all playing board games. I hear you trash talking me from every now and then. You're like, fucking some people. You know? And I was like, oh, so that's when I knew. It's like, oh, man.
That's worse is when you can hear yourself being mocked. And you don't have the energy or mind power to deal with it.
Yeah, and you're just hungry, and that's it.
It's like that Stephen King short story where the guy goes in for an autopsy for a snake bite, but they think he's dead. And it's his inner
He just
monologue the
walks
whole
in,
time.
signs up for an autopsy. Sorry.
That's not what I said at all.
You said he goes in for an autopsy after a snake bite.
I guess I did say that. All right.
I got bit. I better go get an autopsy. Find out what the fuck's wrong with me.
Somebody better check this out, Scalpel. You remember as little details as I do about that one night when we came out of the public restroom at a bar together, totally hammered, and our hands were bleeding? Do you remember as much as I do, which is none
Was
at
I
all?
there?
I
Or
barely
did I
remember
just hear
anything.
this
I don't
story?
think you were there.
I don't think you were there, no. And Andy and I didn't even know each other that well, I want to say.
Pretty well. No, we had just started to kind of hang out a month or two. So
Yeah, and we were both super hammered. And I think
yeah.
we were just drinking beer, weren't we?
yeah, it was just beer. No, we were on a blind date. No, we weren't. You and I.
All right.
We were on the show blind date.
How did this happen? I know I at least heard the story before of you guys both getting.
That's the
bloody
thing is,
hands.
I have no recollection of how it happened. We were both so drunk, and rarely am I so drunk that I can't remember anything. Because I remember everything except for what happened in that bathroom. And did your butt hurt after too?
A little bit of bleeding, but I remember this pretty clearly. I punched the shit out of a automatic dispensing paper towel machine
Because you were mad at
wouldn't
it?
Give me my towel, so I just and it was on the left side of the door, so I just started hitting it with my left arm as much as I can, and I'm a righty, so you know.
But my hand was bleeding. Did I come in and like, hey, Andy,
He's like,
fuck this guy?
I'm left-handed, so you started hitting it right, you know.
Yeah, we
And
made
then-
a good team, and we
then
beat the shit out of that dispenser.
And then we went to a bar after that, and we were punching the shit out of each other's arms. Do you remember that part?
Yeah, that doesn't seem like me though, PJ.
No, we were though.
Yeah, I know. It's so crazy to me because usually I'm not the guy like, hey, punch me in the face. I'm drunk. Like, that's not me.
Don't say my name and then nothing else. Like that is the type of.
Well,
guy.
I was eventually going to get to the story, but I was going to make you seem like an asshole in the meantime. But I remember you and your wife were living at that house, so you guys had just gotten married. And when you would get drunk, I remember Patrick, our friend, not Patrick K.
Yeah.
No angry letters, please. But he was over, and he had just broken up with his wife, and so he was super depressed. And we were all hanging out at that bar, Boomers, in Yakima. And he just dared. Was it you
What?
that punched him in the face?
The whole thing started. I can't remember. My friend Nico had accidentally given me a black eye, so on my 21st birthday, I was allowed to give him a black eye back. And then I just think that Pat thought that was funny, and he wanted me to give him a black eye. Mm-hmm. So I punched him in the face.
He
at
asked
Boomer.
for it. Like, he was specific. Like, hit me right in the face. And also, keep in mind, going through a
fucked his
painful
eye
divorce.
up. Wow.
In his sober hours of this day, he was just pacing in your front yard and talking to his ex-wife on the phone and fucking cursing you.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So it was really sad. But yeah, so PJ wailed him in the face. Like, no mercy.
Knock him down.
And this is the greatest story ever. I'm glad that it's come up. So, like, it obviously, you can hear the flesh smack. Like, boom, it happened, right?
It was such a good hit.
Yeah, and such a bad hit. Like, I was right, and I've never seen a punch like that close up, really.
And I've never punched well, I guess I had punched Nico at that point.
Yeah.
But not as well, I don't think.
Yeah, so you square in the eye, you couldn't believe it. But he played it off, he laughed it off. We hung out for the rest of the night, drank more, and it didn't look that bad. Like, we could see bruising, but it wasn't terrible. And he was crashing at PJ's place that weekend. And the next morning, this is how he tells the story. He wakes up, he checks out his eye the next morning, and it looks a little more swollen, but it's okay. Then he blows his nose, like grabs some Kleenex to blow his nose, and it somehow inflates his eye, like hardcore. And so it was the most hilarious thing because he was downstairs in the guest room. So he was wandering upstairs that morning, and all of a sudden he's just fucking, his head is twice the size it was when he went to sleep. And we thought it was and he had just gotten a new job that he was about to start that next day.
Jesus.
It reminds me of that scene in Fight Club where he shows up like all bruised to shit.
Yeah.
But
I remember his daughter being upset with me for giving her dad a black eye.
Yeah,
she was pretty young at the time.
She ignored you for a long time after that. But he let me take a Polaroid of him, like once it was extreme and hilarious and cartoonish. And then that Polaroid was on my refrigerator for several years after.
Yeah, I always felt bad about it. I don't like that aggressive style. I remember,
Yes, you do. And I don't know if it was when
Nah.
Fight Club came out. I don't know if you were one of those guys.
I think
But
to a
I
degree
remember
I
the
was.
brawling outside of the hot tub.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing started with me accidentally getting a black eye and then giving Nick one back. When we would jump out of the hot tub and box, that was around the same time as.
So what was
when
it
I
about
punched
the
Matt
hot
in the
tub
face.
first?
I don't know, man. We would
You
just
got
get
that sexual
so
adrenaline
drunk.
pumping?
We were so drunk, and it would be snowing outside, and it just seemed funny to go out there and box. Like, we both still had our original black eyes and everything like that. And Nico and I would box. I do remember one time at the Outback being drunk. This is after I had quit there but only like a month or two after. And I went in there and I got so drunk at the bar, and then in the bathroom, I don't even remember what I was like bullshit depressed about, but I was like balling up paper towels and just like throwing them against the window, or the mirror.
You rebel.
Just as hard as I could. And then I hawked this big ass fucking loogie and I spit it right on the mirror, the fucking Outback bathroom. And I walk out and I leave. And then like the next day, through the grapevine, through friends of mine that still work there, everyone in the place knew it was me. Like one of the guys that worked there was in there and saw me throwing the paper towels at the mirror.
It could have been worse than paper towels and spit, though. You could have tore that place to shit.
That's true, but still.
Andy and I beat up a paper towel dispenser.
I know, but this is a place where I had just worked for 3 years.
Right.
Just walked out of mid-shift, and now I'm going in there getting hammered and spitting on their mirror. It was pretty embarrassing.
I remember back in high school, and I think it's safe enough to tell this story. That was like 10 years ago.
Let's hope so, buddy.
So I grew
We get
up in
legal?
Parkland. Grew up in Parkland, so that's right by PLU. And campus safety had like me on a list with my friend JJ and some other people because we cost like $10,000 worth of damage at the PLU library.
Wow. What's $10,000 worth of damage?
No, we what we did is we stole modeling clay from art class and we plugged up dozens
So
of
far,
toilets.
this sounds like $6.
No, and we plugged up dozens of toilets, caused all this.
Oh, I
damage.
see.
My friend Joe and I also we tore.
Is Joe a code name? It seemed like
Are you
thought
trying to
about that
remember their names, or are you wondering if you should say them?
No, that's not his name. So he took a globe from the basement and he tore it in half and he took a giant shit in it and then left it right in the floor in the middle of like this, elementary school curriculum section. And so Ryan, his name's not Ryan. So we took fire extinguishers and it was liquid kind, not like carbon dioxide kind. So we started spraying the shit everywhere. It was just, high school.
Well, we didn't go to high school.
So you missed so much.
Yeah, that's true.
You missed so much, guys.
I missed it. You were drunk while doing this?
And no drunk. I just want to talk about vandalizing bathrooms.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Did you have a lot of anger issues? Is it fair to say?
A little bit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Where do you think that comes from? This is where the intervention actually comes in.
Well, it's, my father hit me with wooden spoons.
I thought you were going to say
actually.
I thought you were going to say he hit you with the truth about everything.
No, I have no idea.
That's what you thought when he started that sentence?
Wow.
Yeah, what's the thing? You got the wrench, or you got the...
You're talking about hitting me with the truth?
No, I'm trying to quote Good Will Hunting, and everybody looked at me like I was an idiot.
You've got the wrench, and you've got the...
Remember,
what?
he's telling the story about... he's telling the story to bearded Robin Williams about he's opening up about his stepdad and being abused in foster homes or whatever, and he put out the belt and he put out the wrench.
I
said
the belt, the wrench, and the stick.
Oh, I chose the wrench.
Okay, you chose the wrench. Okay, here's how it goes.
Do I get to be Robin Williams?
No, I'm Robin Williams. You're Matt Damon.
I'm Mork from Mork.
Okay,
right?
Here we go. Gotta go with the stick.
You
now
do
it's
the
your
whole,
line.
You do the whole thing.
Damn it. Okay, say I gotta go with the stick.
I gotta go with the stick.
Nah, I picked the wrench. Now ask why.
Why?
Because fuck him, that's why.
That's it. Oh, man. I hope that was as powerful as the first time everybody saw that movie.
Yeah, I'd like to think it was.
Gus Van Sant's a genius, man. So.
He is. Are we joking?
No.
Are we joking or are we serious?
No.
Did you see Milk?
I haven't seen Milk. So.
How many of the Best Picture nominees of this year did you see?
Oh, see, now it's gonna come out that I don't know them all off the top of my head.
Okay.
But I think
Well,
I've only seen Frost Nixon. I've seen The Wrestler too.
I saw The Wrestler as well. Frost Nixon, and what's the other one that I saw?
Slumdog Millionaire?
No, I haven't seen that, although that was the big winner.
Yeah, the big obvious winner. Hold on, I got some here. The Reader was up.
Oh, The Reader.
Did not see The Reader. Oh, Curious Case of Benjamin Button. That's the other one I saw.
Oh, yeah.
Did not deserve to win, and I'm glad it didn't win.
Yeah.
It just seemed, I just hate it when everyone already knows who's going to win and they tell me via Entertainment Weekly.
Well,
it's just
everybody-
not exciting when Slumdog Millionaire is just winning everything to me.
Yeah, I think the only big surprise and what the internet wasn't expecting was when Mickey Rourke did not win.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure what the buzz was on that, but Sean Penn won. What did you think about the Oscars, Andy? You find them boring?
Well, I fell asleep about half an hour in. Fell asleep. Half hour in. No, it was I was on the internet reading the Strangers live blog and watching everyone talk.
Oh man, I was on Twitter doing the live tweets.
Yeah, no, I was reading that on your Facebook page. I was reading
course
all those.
you were,
Of
Andy.
course I was.
No, I had a lot of fun watching it, but I felt really inspired. Like Hugh Jackman, take him or leave him. I say leave him, but
Leave him.
yeah, I won't be forking over $10 for Wolverine because I've never cared that much. But I mean, he did a good job. I liked that joke at the beginning in his musical montage where he shit on the reader a little bit. I thought,
I just kind of I had the luxury of watching on DVR. I got where that was going right away and just fast forwarded through it.
don't you get it though? We're in a recession, so they couldn't afford a lot of fancy.
I got it. I don't think it was too secretive.
Pretty funny.
Pulls Anne Hathaway on stage, I'd tune out.
I take it you didn't see the opening number.
I missed that whole part. I
Yeah.
know. Anne Hathaway, Hugh Jackman. Oh, Nixon, shit like that.
Yeah, it was
but,
fine.
you know.
But I was kind of I don't know if I liked the banter that he had at the beginning. Like he'd run up and start talking to celebrities and literally sitting in their laps in some cases and just getting in their face. And it's Hugh Jackman. Like nobody knows whether to like him or not.
It seems like that would be almost semi-embarrassing for him. Like he should be sitting.
It was
out there in the
embarrassing for me
audience.
just watching it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, overall, everybody does a nice enough job. Letterman never got asked back, and he was 10 times better than Jackman.
Yeah, that's true.
But the awards as a whole, no real surprises except for Mickey Rourke not
that was
winning, I
it.
guess.
Did you guys notice that when Jennifer Aniston and Jack Black were presenting their 2 awards, that I was talking to Margaret about this earlier, that they cut at least, I want to say 3, but to be safe, I'll say 2 times to Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Like, just
really?
blatant cuts.
Oh,
Doesn't
yeah.
that seem a little too,
I know exactly what
going
you're talking.
too far for the Oscars?
I didn't even put it together. I think I did put it together in my head, I guess. But
Like, they made sure to show Angelina Jolie, like, laughing at one of Jennifer Aniston's jokes or something like
like,
that.
ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
No
and, like,
hard
both of them
feelings here.
smiling. It just seems that, like, you know that these people probably actually go home and watch the Oscars on DVR to see how they looked or whatever like that.
Yeah.
They're going to see that and go, come on.
PJ, did you see any of the Best Picture nominees? Benjamin Button.
Yeah. I did see Benjamin Button.
Yeah, I don't even want to see that.
It's not good.
Really? Oh, man, I liked it. I cried and I cried.
Yeah, this is covered ground. Just know that you're wrong. Just as a reminder.
I think that's the only Best Picture nominee I've seen.
Yeah, the only other one I saw was Frost Nixon, which was pretty good. Pretty good.
I look forward to watching Milk. I'd like to watch Milk.
pretty
The
good.
Reader, some Kate Winslet hits in case you don't own any of the 5 other movies. She shows in.
Yeah, but what was the first? She was in Heavenly Creatures, right?
Right.
Kinda
Is,
see.
is that one of an example of?
I just imagine there are tits in it. It looks artsy and titty. I don't know.
I don't even know if she's
I've never
18
seen it.
when she made it. She
Maybe not
probably
then.
was.
There's New
Although
Zealand.
sometimes that doesn't matter. You know, you can see unless it's probably an ass double, but Reese Witherspoon couldn't have been 18 when I saw her ass in that one movie.
Right.
Not-
Chloe Sevigny's vagina in Kids.
Oh, yeah.
She was at least
Yeah.
playing a 16-year-old. She
She
looked
couldn't have
that
been
young.
though. She couldn't have been.
I don't know.
She still looks that young.
I don't think any
No, she
Larry
doesn't.
Clark. I think they're all 18 in Larry Clark movies, even though they're all playing horny teenagers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he grooms them young.
No,
He starts
shit,
fucking
yeah,
them
yeah.
at 16.
I
but he
don't
puts them
know.
on screen at 18.
In Kids, I remember there being a party scene with
Rosario
like
Dawson?
some obvious like 12-year-olds doing some illegal drugs in there.
Yeah.
Plus that girl in the beginning in the bra that Tilly's making out with, that disgusting opening scene where it's just like close up, like me watching Nick make out with his girlfriend all over again. That girl, she couldn't have been over 18.
Do you remember...
And Larry Clark released like a book of pictures, didn't he?
Yeah.
About
When
like
he was
with several naked underage
naked
kids in it.
teenagers.
I think Maplethorpe wrote the
pregnant
foreword on
women
that.
shooting Yeah, something like that.
Are you joking? Because I wouldn't be surprised.
No, I don't know. Maybe I made up that fact and then it turns out to be true.
I showed my wife a Rob Mapplethorpe picture once.
What's his first name, Andy?
It's Robert.
Robert
okay.
Mapplethorpe picture once, and she was disgusted. It was a guy with the big end of a bullwhip.
Oh, I know that one, yeah.
Yeah.
That was my desktop picture for a long time.
Yeah.
Let's unload it, Boat It.
When we had nobody but each other, PJ. Which is still fair. I know you have your wife and your kid, but really it's all about me. But I remember we would walk to and from the video store, which was several blocks away.
Yeah.
And we'd built and we were like 16 or 17. We just really started getting into movies.
Blocks away.
18 blocks? About or exactly? You seem to know that.
We lived
well.
on 82nd and it was on 64th.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Plus like 2 blocks over, so I guess
I like your math, sir. So, yeah, we would go to the video store all the time, walk there and back, and we've said it before, but LA Confidential made us realize there was more than earnest movies out there, and so we just started renting more interesting things, although sometimes we would get a ride, and therefore Dad would be with us when we rented things, and we're just, 16, 17.
Right.
I was going to say we built a relationship with, and it wasn't like a mom and pop shop necessarily. It wasn't a chain store, but it was pretty huge. And
Right.
they had a lot of employees.
Tried to be hip, lots of neon and
because neon equals hip.
yeah.
Always has.
So we would go to the video store, and when we would go alone, this guy was awesome. And I remember he looked just like Kubiak from Parker Lewis Can't Lose.
Yeah, I couldn't remember his name for the life of me, but we just called him Coob.
Yeah, Coop. And then, I remember he was the one that first brought Boogie Nights to our attention when that came out on video. And he knows how old we are.
Nice.
He's just getting his secret kicks off of fucking up our heads. But, we learned to trust the guy and his opinions. And so, anyway, I remember sometimes Dad would come along with us, so we kind of had to be sly. He didn't care so much about the rating, but if it was something like Boogie Nights that he'd probably heard about on talk radio when it came out, he knew it was about porn, and therefore we couldn't rent it unless he wasn't there.
Which is weird. It just surprised me still that he cared.
He didn't care. He only cared when he thought that it was appropriate.
Right. It's like I should care, so
It's Boogie Nights. But going back to kids, we'd heard about this movie, and we were picking it up. And my dad, he's like, "What are you guys picking out?" And so we show him, and it's called fucking Kids. So I think we were in the clear on that one. He has no idea how raunchy, how much that movie fucked me up as a teenager.
Yeah.
You've seen it, right, Andy?
Yeah.
Have you seen all of Larry Clark's movies? Because if you've seen Kids, you've pretty much seen them all.
Yeah, I think I saw Xenia, Ohio, too, but...
I don't even know what that one is.
Oh, man, I've seen that one. Wait, are we thinking about the same one? Xenia, Ohio.
I think so.
It's called Gummo. It takes place in
Gummo?
Xenia,
No,
Ohio.
I maybe I'm thinking of something else that takes place
That'd
there.
be weird
It
if
may
there's a
not be.
movie called Xenia, Ohio, because Gummo takes... I'll look it up.
And I haven't seen
looked
Gummo,
up
so-
Chloe Sevigny. She was born in 1974, which would make her 21 when Kids came out.
And 6 years older than me. Never mind.
Talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to look this up. I'll give you a topic. Never mind. Cut that out.
Rhode Island is neither a road nor an island. Discuss.
I knew that's the one.
It's the only one I know.
There must have been one other movie because I saw it. And I
Oh, wait, I guess I should...
Was it Bully?
No.
Was it Bully?
I don't remember. No, I have no idea. I don't think it was Bully. Isn't that recent?
Your girlfriend Kelly, I believe, she saw Bully, or at least read the book, because it was one of those true crime books.
Yeah.
And then Larry Clark later made a movie out of it, and both were equally fucked up. Like, you know how... Did you ever read American Psycho, Bret Easton Ellis?
No, saw the movie, though.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was going to say is there's an extreme difference in watching American Psycho and reading American Psycho.
I bet.
American Psycho, the movie, is tolerable, and there's hardly any blood or anything. Like, it's just more of a, I don't know, a satirical study on the 80s and Wall Street and everything else, which the book was too, but it also had extreme violence that I had never encountered before. And when I read that the first time, it fucked me over. Up or over.
Maybe both.
And then in the ass. But the movie, in comparison, it was lighthearted fare. I liked it a lot. And it is described as a dark comedy. Whereas Bully, you read Bully, and it's a true crime book, so it's all based on fact. And they have pictures of, like, gored up bodies and shit. Well, mainly one. It's all revolving around one murder. But then you watch the movie, and it's equally as horrifying because it's, like, page for page what I read.
I think I've seen chunks because, Kelly rented it or something, but
Yeah.
that's it.
Your girlfriend, she and Kelly, episodes 22 and 22.5, probably some previous to that too without a microphone. She has, and Haley too, I think it's fair to say, all of my female friends seem to have this morbid fascination with morbid things. Like, I know Patton Oswalt's joke about how his girlfriend can't watch old-timey, cheesy 50s westerns because people are being killed, and yet she's obsessed with, like, true crime and true TV. And what's the one that your wife watches all the time, PJ? Forensic Files and cold case studies and...
I can't remember what it's called. Most Evil, where they rate you on a scale of evil. Some doctor invented a scale of evil. He is homicidal, rapist, and flesh-eating. He ranks a 24.
There's actually a robot voice that...
He has kind of a robot voice, yeah. I don't see anything about Xenia, Ohio as a movie. I've got the summary for Gummo here, which is from Harmony Korine, produced by Larry Clark, which does take place in Xenia, Ohio. It's a real weird movie.
Shit up.
Maybe it's a bonus featurette on a DVD you saw?
That's it, yes.
That was a legitimate guess.
No, it might be, but it wasn't anything I saw. I don't know.
Did you vacation there and see a couple of really weird characters? That movie is fucking creepy.
I think he's thinking of Scotland, PA. No? Lost in Yonkers?
Palookaville.
Oh, man.
Pleasantville.
You guys are so far ahead of me.
Revolutionary Road.
Keep it going, Andy.
Copland.
Yes! Adventureland, but that's not out yet.
Mulholland Drive.
Man, you guys just want to quit the show and let's do this. We can still talk in the mic, but I only want to name movies that are also streets and locations now.
Inland Empire.
2 David Lynch in a row. Nice. Twin Peaks was also a location in the area.
That.
Speaking of Twin Peaks, guys, boy, does the second season blow.
You want a cigarette break?
I want to talk about Twin Peaks season 2 and how much it blows, but not as much as I want to smoke a cigarette.
I guess I won't buy it.
You don't know how your voice carries.
PJ, only 2 things that you need to know about Andy.
Okay.
1, Andy, shut up. You'll get your turn. 1, recently our friend Haley had a birthday party right around Christmas, but she's also obsessed with Christmas. And so we had a Christmas-themed party for her at this very house that we're recording in right now.
Uh-huh.
And one of the little gimmicks of the party to make it holiday-themed was there was an arts and crafts table with construction paper, Scotch tape, elbow macaroni, you name it, it's there, right? Everybody can make their own unique snowflake. And they would personalize it. They'd tape them to the wall. And Andy, genius that he is, starts... and I'm the only one to notice for probably 5 or 10 minutes. And there are a lot of people at this party. And Andy, the whole time, everybody else is putting up snowflakes in one area of their wall. And he's taping pretzels to the wall the whole time. So that's the first thing you need to know about Andy.
Okay, I got it.
And I touched on the second thing in the first thing. Andy is a fucking genius. And when I say genius, I mean literally a genius.
Oh, what do you think about that, Andy?
Fair
Is
to
it
say.
true?
Well, the third thing you need to know about Andy is he's also sheepish, but he is a genius. Fair? Fair.
Pretzels. Fuck, guys. Come on.
True sight of a genius. I agree.
Pretzels.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Do you see Flash of Genius and you look at Greg Kinnear and go, that guy's a fucking idiot?
I own that guy.
But Val
Fucking
Kilmer,
Little Man Tate.
Val Kilmer is a real fucking genius, though. We can all agree.
Were you Little
That's
Man
true.
Tate?
No, that guy's a little pussy.
Did you watch Little Man Tate and you're like, I could school that guy, literally?
Yeah.
Let me ask you seriously, though. You are the smartest guy I know when it comes to like Trivial Pursuit and Jeopardy type questions.
That's
Like,
fair.
Yeah, and that's all I mean by
Yeah.
genius. I mean, you're a social retard.
Yeah. I can't count to 10 either. Virgin.
Yeah,
Saw all
yeah.
these things.
But and I've known that from the beginning. I mean, we already told your pretentious T-shirt first time meeting thing. That's when I knew that you were smarter than me, but like in every way. And what's adorable about Andy, and going back to his sheepishness again, is when I happen to be in the same room as Andy when Jeopardy is on, he knows the answer to every question. Don't you challenge yourself when you watch Jeopardy to see you? Andy, what is it? You give yourself 2 wrong answers per episode, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah, try to get nothing wrong.
Yeah. So he knows everything. But when there's more than just him in the room, I don't know if this is the way. Even when it's just you're so shy about it. Like, you know the answer and you mutter it a little bit to yourself, but you're never like, "Oh, fuck you! It's Roman Polanski, and everybody should have known it." Form of a question, please.
That's admirable. That would be
But
hard to resist.
I just want you to know that I know that you're doing that. I can hear you giving every right answer.
I'm all blushing and shit. Oh, Nick. Oh, Nick.
Let's just get right into it then, Andy. And I want your perspective because I wasn't there.
Yeah, do it.
You auditioned for Jeopardy.
Twice, yeah.
Twice? Like all the way through audition?
All the way through, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I got a college Jeopardy audition in 1999.
Okay.
When I was but I didn't make it on because I was a community college student, and they're not real students. And when I got up for my in-person audition, I spilled a pitcher of water on my crotch. And made it real awkward. So, so they never called
You
me.
did this during the course of your audition?
I did it during the course of my audition. I was sitting there in the chair.
On purpose, right? Lighten the mood?
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious. I was flirting with the, coordinators. But, so you do your 50-question test while you're sitting down. Then you go up 3
Is that
people at a
timed?
time.
It has to be timed, right?
Yeah, it's timed.
What,
so
what
it's
do
rapid.
you answer an ad in the paper about or you have like a teacher that says, "Hey, I think
No.
you should."
Or
do
was it
this."
the internet?
It
They've
used to be
asked-
just like 99. It was
Barely the internet
postcards.
then. Oh, postcards, okay.
Now it's internet. So I did it again in 06. And they chose me again because they tend to choose you if you've auditioned before. They'll take you a second time, pretty much no matter what.
And I was either living with you or hanging out with you a lot when that audition was going on. And explain what the first test is. Like, what are you doing on the internet to make you stand out?
So they just throw questions at you. You have a couple seconds to answer. Just type in whatever you can, not in the form of a question.
Right.
Weird stuff, American literature, chemistry, history, shitty Jeopardy puns, Alex Trebek's shoe size and all that stuff.
Potpourri.
Which is?
10.5.
Form of question, please.
Oh, no. But so then you do that, and if you get well enough, it's usually like 35 out of 50. They automatically call you for an in-person audition that they hold like 6 or 7 throughout the country per season.
And where was this one? Seattle?
This was at the Westin Hotel in Seattle.
Okay.
In like September of 06 or something like that.
So walk us through it. Like, what's that like?
So it's everyone's there and they're all tense and dressed up and a little, socially awkward, and so
A lot of old people. Anybody like in those American Idol auditions that you just know? Why are you here?
No, this is
You're not
Jeopardy,
gonna make
PD. This
it.
is a class.
No. They're totally
You know who stupid is.
not even stupid because everyone there, they can pull the facts out. But like,
I guess if they did get 35 out of 50.
but the whole point is, so you go in there and you go into a room. There are about 20 people, and you have to take another 50-question test. And after that, you go up like 3 at a time in front of like the people who hire you, the contesting coordinators. And that's when you can tell the people who go up and like, there's nothing interesting about me at all. I like stamps and the letter Z, and you know that this motherfucker's not going to get a call. But like at my audition, the guy who co-invented International Talk Like a Pirate Day was there.
What?
Yeah, he was there.
That's a mean credit. I want to meet that guy.
And he made it on. And this like genius taxi cab driver made it on, and this guy named Harvey from Kent made it on, and
I'm going to take one of Nick's
Harvey Kent.
I'm going to take one of Nick's questions to pretend like it was mine. Did you like practice at home? Did you have whatever your boring story was going to be?
No,
There's some real clunkers.
And just to be
No,
clear,
I put together
after the first commercial break, they ask about your life for 10 seconds before
Right.
Alex moves on to the next person.
And it's always
That's like the most
boring live.
That's like
Yeah.
the most awkward, like 30 seconds on TV.
It's worse because everything else is so straightforward about that show, but then you got to sit there and listen to them talk about their cats and.
Yeah.
So yeah, go again, PJ. Yeah, do you have a story? Did you have a story prepared?
No, I don't remember it. It was like years ago, but like I had like funny
wasn't that
stuff.
many years ago.
Like I was going to tell the story about spilling water in my crotch at College Jeopardy, and random funny weird things that had happened to me, but it
but
went
somehow
up there.
would still go over terribly and awkward because Alex Trebek would be such a
blame him
nobody
at least
to bounce
50%
that
of
kind
the
of
time.
stuff
Yeah,
off.
he's like a brick. He's
No
just,
personality.
yeah, it's. But so I went up there and I was flirting with Maggie, who's the contestant coordinator.
And how'd she look?
She's, I don't know, she was like 38 and pregnant as hell, and I don't know.
Like it
and
so far.
I was
keep going.
Got her. I'm her Facebook friend now. If you want to, if that means anything.
Are you really?
No, I'm
That's
not.
adorable.
But, so we went through it, and I thought I was doing fine, and us interacting, and everyone was laughing. Like, the entire room was laughing.
So you're impressing them.
Yeah, and I was like...
And you've already proven yourself as far as the knowledge side of it goes.
Yeah, and then I got up, and I was like, hi, who is Zachary Taylor? You know, just shit like that. And on the way out, I was calling Kelly, and Maggie walked by and said, see you soon, Andy. And I was like, I'm fucking in. And that was like 2 years ago.
Man.
And they dissed me. Yeah, so...
So, are you able to, and are you willing to try again, or are you done with it now?
Yeah, I'll try again, but...
Because what pisses me off, Andy, is when I watch Jeopardy now, and there are people, if they're basing it on charisma, you've got those guys beat by the handful. Is that an expression?
I think that they're a show that isn't gonna, that probably goes too much out of the way not to just, like, cast people the way that Deal or No Deal casts.
I'm not saying that they cast people. I mean, obviously, most of them deserve to be there. But Andy was just talking about, like, impressing them is half the battle, right? When it comes to the auditions.
You gotta have
you want to be TV friendly.
Yeah.
But
was
not
there like a
everybody
2-week
is.
period where you wanted to call them? Like, maybe they lost my number.
I know, so like...
Because if she says, see you soon, that's very misleading.
Yeah, seriously. So I was like, this is coming any day now.
And you're just waiting for that phone call. But isn't one of the things, like, it could take a while before they call you?
Yeah, but usually like about a year.
A
max.
year, but that's still a long time.
Yeah, and so I
a
was
long
like-
time that it's just sitting in the back of your head.
And I was actually, like the whole time, like 11 months away, I was still like, they're going to call me.
yeah.
Got my phone.
As they should have.
Waiting
As
for
they
a
should have.
LA area code to come up on the caller ID, you know, but...
It would have been great, and it will be great.
I wanted to try... See, you've got to take an 18-month break between your last in-person audition before you try again. So I can't try again until like 2010, but I will. You know, why not? I'm
calling it now. It's going to happen for you.
Oh yeah.
I'm
or
surprised
something.
it hasn't already.
Yeah,
I'm surprised you didn't get in the first time. Now that I know about that, and now it's especially the second time because I was there. I was sure it was going to happen. I mean, you got further than most people do. I'm sure.
Oh yeah. But I mean, I know tons of
You
people.
impressed Maggie?
Yeah, that's her name. Yeah, so I know tons of people have tried out, but no one has actually got on. It's just hard, you know.
On Jeopardy, when you come in second place, do you keep the money that's there?
No, you get $2,000.
Oh, you get
Third
$2,000.
place gets $1,000.
Oh wow!
And first
Never
place.
knew that. I always wondered because sometimes those people bet so stupidly at the end.
Oh, God, I hate it when they just make a
clearly
really
make
bad
a math
play.
error, and then I wonder, or like they're a certain amount behind and they get the daily double and they don't like fucking risk hardly any money.
Yeah.
And I wonder, well, maybe they're trying to save what they do have because they get to leave with that.
I think it depends
just-
on the category too, though. Some people are just like, I'm going to bet 200 because I don't know shit about this.
Yeah, I know, but even like in Final Jeopardy, when really if you've got 6,000, the next guy's got 10,000, don't you pretty much have to bet it all to even try?
Yeah.
I don't know the
actually-
best strategy.
It always amazes me the
that.
quick math that people have. And by quick, I mean their 3-minute commercial break or whatever it is. They have all that time to think about it.
And
But
they have actually like 10 or 15 minutes where they get to write it all down, and people coach them on arithmetic. They have plenty of fucking time
Really?
between when they wager for Final Jeopardy and when they actually reveal the question. So anyone who fucks their math up is just, they're really like not even there.
My stepdad Vincent's
Seriously.
a smart guy, and we always thought he would be good on Jeopardy. I don't know. I see him miss definitely more than 2 questions per episode, though.
but not by many.
But you know, I don't think he's ever understood, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right on this. In Final Jeopardy, when they ask...
The fact that you're asking this makes you as stupid as our stepdad sounds when he asked this. But
well,
go ahead.
No. I like Final Jeopardy. That last question that they write, that last answer that they write in the form of a question. Like if they don't know it and they just draw a big question mark or something like that.
Yeah.
And then they bet all their money.
Sometimes they do doodle.
Vincent will go,
why did they bet all their money? And I always say, and tell me if I'm wrong on this, they bet the money before they see
You
the
bet
question.
You're not
first.
wrong.
You
You're
bet
not
first.
I
wrong.
tell him that every
Right.
single time too,
And
and he still would say it every time.
That's-
If they didn't know it, why did they bet everything?
That's the Vincent struggle every time I watch Jeopardy with him because he's so smart when it comes
You've
to
noticed it too?
Oh, every time.
Oh my
and
God.
it's amazingly ridiculous that because it's almost like a tick that he has to say it because he's smart enough to know all these random crazy historical, geographical, whatever you can throw at him, and then when it comes to Final Jeopardy, he always has to make a point to say, "I don't understand." Do they know the question before they bet this money? Why? And I'm like, obviously, the fact that this guy bet all his money and drew a big question mark says that they had to, they had to
Right.
make their wager prior to knowing the question.
Right.
I'm sorry, answer.
I was totally going to call you out on that. So
And while we're on the subject, Andy, there's no fear that you would fuck up and forget in Double Jeopardy to put it in the form of a question, right?
oh,
you know better.
I'd do it.
You're not.
I might.
yeah.
You're not even penalized for that, are you?
In Double Jeopardy, you are.
Yeah, unless
Is
you
that the case?
Unless
Yeah,
you
yeah.
correct yourself before your little time bar.
Oh,
So,
yeah. So you got to be quick about it. That's true.
I think.
Wow, all these rules of Jeopardy. I didn't
Yeah.
know.
I barely
I
know
don't.
them all.
Andy's behind the scenes.
Yeah, you know it. Did
So-
they videotape your whole audition,
Is that on
I
YouTube?
don't know. I
or do they
would
like
block it.
when they call you back? Are they calling you like based on notes they made about you, or just what
It's
they remember?
notes and a Polaroid, and I think that's it. I don't think there's any videotape. So because
So there's no use doing impressions because they're not going to see them later.
No, unless you really make them a.
But any times
Make 'em-
one of the
make 'em
girls
wet.
turn around, you can still do that. Fuck. Like your fucking emotion, and they're not going to catch that on tape. That was one of the scenes in Friday the 13th today. Like, oh, the girl turns
PJ
around.
saw
and
the newly
fucking
revised
ass.
Friday the 13th today
Sweet.
because he has no life.
Did you see My Bloody Valentine 3D?
No,
Oh, okay.
I wanted to see the international, but it didn't start for like an hour and a half after whatever I saw.
You don't got time for that.
I like Clive Owen, but I don't really want to see that. Is that in
I
Clive
wanted to
Owen?
do anything
Yeah,
else.
it's Clive Owen.
I'm sorry. I'm talking
Yeah,
to the
Clive
movie
Owen.
guys of the world. I should know this shit.
MovieGuysPodcast.com. That's us.
Clive Owen and Naomi Watts. Look it up just to make sure. Just to make sure.
Any questions?
If you had made it to actual Jeopardy,
Yes.
like actual national TV Jeopardy,
Right.
if I were as smart as you and I knew that I could make it that far, my main fear would be I'm on Jeopardy now. I can do this except for the lights and the crowd and Alex Trebek and his shade of a mustache that used to be. Like all of that staring at me, like I think I would have a legitimate panic attack.
Yeah, people on there are definitely having bad days.
because
So
the
that's
people that are
nice.
good are obviously the people that are concentrating on the questions and know when to buzz in. Could you handle those things?
I could, but it's just. I mean, I hope I could, but it's just.
You don't know until you're there, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm like the few times I've tried public speaking, always terrible. Like I can't imagine being on national TV. I just think that I'd be worried too much about my surroundings to pull through with a single question.
I'm on this podcast. I'm absolutely terrible. I mean, fucking.
Well, it's different.
Think
Nobody's
how I
here.
do on. Okay.
Nobody's here. Nobody's listening.
I'd do fine. I'd win hundreds of thousands of dollars and
And go on a streak, man.
go on a streak.
So, of your friends and family that know that you've auditioned,
Yeah.
how often do you get "you'll be the next Ken Jennings" joke, and how often do you punch those people in the throat?
I just punch him in the throat anyway.
You don't know how your voice carries.
So who knows when this is coming out, but today was the day of the 12 egg omelet challenge earlier today. Andy, how do you think I did?
You own that
Would
thing.
you guess that I failed? Or
No. What are you talking about? That
You
was
were there.
I was there, and
You
it
were
was
there.
it was
You were a blur.
and it was beautiful. I was rapt. I was watching each fork full.
You know, I gotta say, in the beginning, I know it looked like I was getting cold feet or something like that, but it's that total social thing that I can pay a therapist or talk about on a podcast that I can really blame on mom always shushing us in front of waitresses. Like I was just humiliated being in there and being like, "Oh, we're gonna do."
I saw this on the
thing.
Travel Channel.
Yeah, and that was really embarrassing for me. So any little attitude I had beforehand was just that.
I wouldn't say there was attitude, but I did find it funny about 3 hours before we went in for you to eat this omelet. And I ate too. It's not like we were all starving watching you eat this huge right. omelet. Yeah, I just know we had caught a beer before, which, a few people had said probably not a good idea.
Right.
But it's not like you were hammered when you went in there.
No, 2 beers.
Yeah. But I remember at one point, shortly before we went to the restaurant, Best Cafe, you had said, so I'm probably not going to be able to do this, right? What did you say?
Well, okay. All day long.
I felt like you had copped out at that point and it wasn't going to happen.
All week long, all you've been doing me is telling me how obvious it is that there's no way I'm going to be able to do this. The man versus food guy couldn't do it.
He left it with 2 bites left. There's no way that you can do this.
Yeah.
You're my brother. I know you. You can't do it.
Yeah, so in the end, I think maybe even I was trying to cop out. Like I said, it was all honestly because like I was just like
you just felt like
embarrassed to be doing it, yeah. Although
it seemed like a good idea when we first came up with it.
Once the food was ordered, I was fine and knew I was going to be fine. I knew I was going to be fine once the food was ordered. Then I'd get into the spirit.
You were
going
to be fine, meaning knew you were going to do it?
I knew that all this anxiety I was having in my head about like, oh, I'm embarrassed and stuff like that was going to be gone. But it ended up going away a little before that. And also gave me a lot of confidence that I passed on the way back from the bathroom a table of 3 who was sharing one. So I was like, okay, so I'm not just some random, like, oh my God, we got to put together this fucking thing because some other guy saw this on TV.
Yeah. And I kind of got that vibe from the waitress at first, but she was cool with us.
Yeah. She was totally fine.
At first, when and you wasn't one of your conditions that you wouldn't order it. Oh no, I guess you did.
Yeah, I did end up ordering it just because I thought Margaret was going to step up to the plate and order it for me. But I even told her like, "Oh, I'm going to get this one with no mushrooms."
It's like when you're at the IHOP and you're ordering the Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity. You don't want to order it; you just want to eat it.
Did you think
get past the embarrassment?
You don't understand any of the embarrassment I might have had, Andy? Did you think that it was like a stupid thing to be doing at all?
No, it wasn't stupid. I could pick up that you were a little weird about it, but I knew you could do it. I mean, I didn't
like the attention.
You knew he could do it?
Yeah, I figured he'd do it. I mean,
could you do it? You think?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think I could do it.
Even when that huge pizza platter came down,
I could do that.
Okay, well,
I could.
I mean, clearly I mean, it's obvious that I won. It's obvious that I know.
Yeah, I mean,
I was trying to keep it a secret.
Well, you said it. Did you know he could do it? And he says, "Yeah, I knew he could."
You
do it.
are wearing the T-shirt right now.
That's
from
true.
Best Cafe.
Although it should be said that there's no T-shirt as a prize.
Yeah, that was the first blow. We come to the restaurant, having seen this on the Travel Channel, and so your girlfriend Andy Kelly is the first to speak up and ask the waitress, "Hey, is this still a thing, you know, like basically do we get the free T-shirt when he eats this 12-egg omelet? Not when, if, but now we know when."
Yeah.
And they said no, that was just a promotional thing for that show on the Travel Channel. Is that what it was?
She said that was kind of a thing that they had invented.
That's too bad.
I can't even really remember if on there he said that he would. Maybe it was like, I'll get a T-shirt if I do it, like as payment along with my $10,000 check or whatever.
So you did get a T-shirt, but not because they gave it to you.
Right. The rule was...
Not only did they not give you a free T-shirt, but they didn't even... you know how sometimes, like, eat this steak the size of your mom, and then you get it for free. But at least you ate it, and it's free.
Did $16 seem like a lot of money for a 12-egg omelet? To me, that seems fair.
No, it's fair for a 12-egg omelet.
Yeah,
and all you hash browns.
It was giant.
It said something on the menu about, like, if more than one person is having it, they add on $1.50 for each person eating it with you. And to go back...
but for the record, nobody else had a single bite. That was all you.
When I saw that group of 3 eating it and they were almost done, that's when I knew I can fucking do this. Because like I said from the beginning, it's just eating. It's just putting it in your mouth and just keep eating.
When you give me that spiel before, when I knew that you were doing it, but before you did it, I didn't think that was enough. Of course, we all know how to eat. I understand the concept of eating. That doesn't mean I can eat when I'm beyond full.
But I also am really used to eating just ridiculous amounts. Like if my wife makes goulash, she only knows how to make it she only knows how to make it with like 1 pound of ground beef or whatever. So I eat, and she doesn't like to eat it. So when she makes it, I eat the whole thing.
She makes it for you?
Right, yeah. And,
okay.
And makes herself something else, and I don't stop until this pound of ground beef plus everything else in it is gone.
It's true. I have seen you go crazy on food sometimes. You've just never really focused that energy before now.
The main worry was I had never had an omelet before. That's what I was worried about. What if I hate the omelet? But it was delicious.
But you know that you like eggs because you've eaten plenty of eggs.
Right.
And you know that you like cheese. You've eaten plenty of cheese.
Yeah, but I have had cheesy scrambled eggs once at like a Denny's or something and didn't like it.
Well, you were at Denny's.
Yeah, that's true too, which is why now that I think I like omelets, maybe I just have to keep going to Best Cafe.
Only the 12 egg, though.
Yeah. So I ordered the 12 egg omelet. It was a little embarrassing. I just kind of was like, oh, and I'll take it with 12 eggs. And she was like, okay.
But it had already been asked about by Kelly.
She knew someone. She knew someone was doing it. And it came out, and it was big, but I guess kind of not as big as I thought. It was definitely big. And
see, I wasn't there for the big reveal. I was outside smoking, and then I come back in, and you hadn't taken a bite yet.
Right.
But it still didn't look as big to me because I wasn't there when like everybody else saw it, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like it was just stuffed in the middle with so much ham and on a big thing of hash browns, and I just went for it. I started with the hash browns, then I ate a bunch
What was
of
the
egg,
time?
then
We
I
have
ate
the
a
time.
toast
How much time
sandwich.
did it take you to eat?
34 minutes.
34 minutes. Pretty impressive considering how huge
Not
it
too
was.
shabby. And I finished it. At the very end, there was 2 pieces of toast with a lot of cheese and ham on them because I had started to make a second omelet sandwich and bailed on that. Ate the eggs separately and then spread jelly on the cheese toast in order to choke it down real fast.
And one of our spectators that was there at the table
friend of the
actually
show, Haley,
gagged.
was gagging, which I'm glad I didn't see. And I feel fine. This is a mere a few hours later.
I'm
I feel
amazed that
great.
we're recording.
I got
now.
a shirt. I wish the shirt was on the cafe and not on Margaret, but I appreciate it all the same.
By that you mean
Nick
that
bought
she
the
paid for the
omelet.
T-shirt,
Right.
Yeah,
Nick paid for the omelet.
yeah. As was our deal, I guess.
It was a great day. Yeah, we're still unclear as to whether we actually made that deal. I can't remember.
Well, I paid for it either way. If it turns out we didn't make that deal, then I want my $16 back plus tip.
Well,
Just kidding. I didn't tip that lady.
I thank all my supporters, and Andy, I hope it didn't gross you out too badly.
No, it was a beautiful thing.
Despite everything else that is on record, I believed in you the whole time.
And we took some really, really awkward footage of it. Where I think Nick was like trying to pretend like he was just casually asking me a question, but it was like, oh, the camera's on, so I'm not going to answer it.
I was really hoping you didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Was it my inflection? You just
How do you feel today? Best I felt all year, so why choose fear? I'm a New Yorker. Fear's my... Sorry, I gotta finish the line.
I don't know what that was.
It's
What was
from
that?
Rent.
Was that right?
Oh,
Okay.
of course it was.
That's great because the Garden State soundtracks that are playing on the jukebox over there.
Oh yeah, apparently I'm an idiot. I didn't recognize the
'Cause you're waiting
Garden State soundtrack like everybody else in
You're waiting
Seattle.
for the Garden State musical. I think that's what.
Is that really going to be a musical?
Yes. IMDb that right
Why
now.
am I an idiot?
Or Broadway DB.
Well, you think about it. Stephen King's Carrie is a musical, or was at one time. Edward Scissorhands. It's not entirely out of the realm of reality that a Garden State could be a musical.
Spider-Man's going to be a musical.
The Spider-Man was a musical. I heard the third one
and
was.
The Edge are going to write the music for it.
I can't tell if you're being
Not
serious
kidding.
right
No,
now.
I'm not kidding. It's,
Tell me again, who's involved with this?
Bono
Julie
and
Taymor,
the Edge.
who did The Lion King, and then Bono and the Edge are going to write the music
Wow.
for a Spider-Man musical coming out next year. So
I could
that's,
see them doing that after Spider-Man 2 had come out. That's probably when the talk started, and they're like, well, we already paid for the costumes. But then Spider-Man 3 came out and pissed the world off. I never saw it, but nobody liked it, right? Did you see it,
saw
Andy?
I hated
It was terrible.
It was
I
terrible?
hated it.
It was dumb.
Yeah. Why though? Nobody can explain why. And I haven't seen it, so
Why
I
was
don't know.
it terrible? There's
the
a
first
terrible
one was
scene where he was on the Peter Parker was playing
Yeah,
the
the weird
piano.
cabaret.
Oh, the
Oh my
emo
God.
scene. The
Scene.
emo scene.
I don't even know what that means, but sure.
Emotional.
There's a Shrek musical, and they showed a clip of it. They sang a song of it on.
Oh yeah, that was here in Seattle, wasn't it? Shrek musical.
They did a portion of it on Ellen or Oprah, and they showed a clip of it on The Suit, and it was basically the princess burping and Shrek farting throughout the whole song they were singing.
That's
It's
beautiful.
ridiculous.
Man.
They put anything on Broadway. The Wedding Singer's coming to Yakima this year.
I didn't know that was still a thing. I knew
Wow.
it was once upon a time. Yeah, I don't get the musicals, although our aunt's musical is coming up.
And then Sensations.
Yeah, that should be fun.
Andy, do you like musicals?
I can't. I just can't do it.
No Rent?
I can't.
As a
not Rent.
heterosexual, is that what you mean?
No, that's not it. I mean, it's just I listen to Rent and I can't get into it. And I love the book Wicked, but I can't listen to the musical at all. I could barely get past the overture. It just bugged me. I don't know what it is.
I'm with you, never having seen a musical. Like, I haven't even seen a musical on film, probably. It bores me so much.
Yeah, Sweeney Todd, which I liked.
Sweeney Todd, I
didn't
saw...
like this. I saw it on stage and the movie, and I didn't like either.
Really?
Yeah.
I think the story's fine. I don't know. I only saw the movie. I can't say I saw the play ever. And didn't know about it until Jersey Girl came along. But
Yeah, me neither.
but once the movie came out, I liked it enough, and I think I liked the story more than I liked the performances and the singing aspect of it.
Yeah.
Like, if they'd just gone for it
Plus,
straight.
the movie, it was really underwhelming to me. I thought Tim Burton was going to make it look like just amazing, but a lot of it, like the city shots, was just like painting or computer generated or something like that.
Yeah.
It looked stupid to me.
More or less underwhelming.
Plus, I don't know why people like this Tim Burton obvious fake red paint blood. I've never liked that.
That was real corny.
Yeah, but it was in Sleepy Hollow too.
Was
and
it,
Edward Scissorhands.
was the
and-
blood that red in Sleepy Hollow?
I think so, wasn't it?
I don't know.
I remember thinking it back then, like, this blood just looks stupid.
I wasn't thinking that.
So
I was
does
covering
Christina
my eyes.
Ricci's blonde hair.
You know what doesn't look stupid? Christina Ricci's blonde boobs. I'll take those.
In what, Prozac
pinch.
Nation? Oh, Black Snake Moan. Blonde and showing her boobs.
Oh, yeah. She showed a lot of boob in that movie.
I don't, not like full boob, but
No, full boob? Black
yeah.
Snake Moan?
I don't think so.
This is the only scenes what I've seen, my brother.
No shit. No. I know this. I know that movie well.
You know that movie
Yeah.
well?
No,
What if-
Christina Ricci's beautiful, but I just don't. I don't remember her being naked.
Black
in it.
Snake Moan with Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, no, Samuel.
He knows
Jackson,
what the movie is,
I'm just
clearly.
making
Timberlake,
sure.
like David Banner.
I'm just making sure you're
it's
not
just-
thinking of the Addams Family.
Oh well, you know.
I remember that movie had her boobs because when I'm seeing a movie like that in the theater, like that very movie I did, don't you get kind of uncomfortable sometimes?
Today, during Friday the 13th, I was way in the back row. The only other two guys were like way down in front. I was in jerk off heaven.
Were they wearing trench coats? Was chest hair exposed?
one guy was reading a newspaper. I thought
That's
that was
obvious
weird.
cover for
during the
jacking
movie?
off.
Yeah, like I kept hearing the pages turn.
Well, okay, you're seeing this movie, and it made, what, $41 million or something crazy on
Did
its
well.
opening weekend? It did well. But what is today? Tuesday?
Today is, yeah.
And you saw a matinee show of Friday the
Okay,
13th?
so currently this is Tuesday. Friday the 13th has... What's the date today? Who knows?
24th.
Yeah, it's been out for like a week and a half at this
Right.
point.
But still, of course there's only two other guys in
I'm
there.
sure that even during the weekend they didn't do that great during their matinees.
Probably not. Nobody wants to watch anybody get their head cut off until at least 4 p.m.
I know. That's a general.
You're going to
rule.
pay full price for that ticket.
By the way, matinee at the AMC in Pacific Place, $8.50.
In Seattle, Washington?
I don't know if I want to move to Seattle at $8.50 for a matinee.
Oh, that bothers you? Yeah, you definitely can't handle Seattle.
You know what I
That's
did
Seattle.
like, even though it wasn't open, was a bar in the concession area.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Is
never
that
open.
That bar has never been
never
open.
been open.
Now that I
Wasn't
think about
open
it.
when I
Just a
was
tease.
there.
Yeah, I know. We can see the beer. And then I can envision myself breaking into that cooler.
Yeah, it's just. It's,
Well, I was going up the escalator, and I saw the neon beer signs, and I was very excited. But yeah, it wasn't open. I thought it was just because it was too early. I was seeing like the first show of the day.
Have you ever been to a liquor theater, PJ?
No.
But you know what it is. It's right in the title.
Yeah.
Okay. It's awesome. It's the best thing ever. I'm trying to think of... except for I saw Quantum of Solace there. Was the most recent movie I saw there. Have you seen that?
No.
It's fucking boring as shit.
Really?
I love Casino Royale, but did you see Quantum of Solace?
It's not bad.
It's not good.
I liked
it's not that
Casino
great, but it's
Royale
not-
a lot.
I like Casino Royale a lot. Like,
Yeah.
I saw that a few weeks ago.
I liked it a
Actually.
lot. I've only seen it the one time, I think.
You didn't like the poker scene, though, I'm betting.
Poker scene, 4 of a kind, better 4 of a kind, straight flush, royal flush, all in the same hand. Ridiculous.
Oh, Bond.
What are the odds on that? At least Lucky You had such realistic poker scenes. They did. I mean, to a certain
Curtis
degree, they
Hansen's
did.
Lucky You?
Yeah.
I
awful
rented that.
movie.
Horatio Sands? Hilarious.
Yeah, awful movie. Anywho, hey, Andy, what do you think about Conan O'Brien going to The Tonight Show? More importantly, don't talk yet. Jimmy Fallon taking over late night
I want Jimmy Fallon to die.
to fail.
To just like really, really fail.
Get a nobody. Conan was a nobody.
And
Look how well it was.
I know, and I don't
He was
care.
a nobody and he wasn't.
He was a writer on The Simpsons.
He had an established writing career.
Yeah,
there.
writing career.
He had a
Harvard
writing
graduate, but I mean,
career.
he wasn't like he wasn't
Not a
like a
stand-up.
star of SNL.
And
No.
a face for
Or
radio,
anything
let's
like
face
that.
it. You guys are right. You guys are right.
He was not known to the public who's watching Late Night with Conan O'Brien. I think what it was is just that when they were trying to find someone, probably everyone in town just said, this guy Conan, he's a writer, is just the funniest guy there is.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is like because he was a writer on The Simpsons for I don't know, one of the earlier seasons, and
Right.
only 1 or 2 seasons. But what's interesting is that it's not interesting to anybody except for me. But I was obsessed with The Simpsons growing up.
Also, by this time, Jimmy Fallon has started Late Night. I just want to put that out there.
Okay,
Did that start?
no,
That started tonight.
tonight.
Could have
This
been
very night. Anyway, so I watch Simpsons with commentary, and whenever it comes to a Conan episode, the whole commentary, that whole 22 minutes, is devoted to other writers in the room talking about how hilarious this episode it is. He wrote the monorail episode for
Right.
one, which is huge, but they're not talking about the episode. They're talking about Conan in the writer's room making everybody laugh.
Yeah. Is
Like-
Conan on the commentaries?
He's on some of them, and he's hilarious, of course.
He was on the Inside the Actors Studio, and he said that he was just a writer.
Because he's quite the actor.
He was just a writer on The Simpsons, and they called him one day when he was at work and told him that he got the job at Late Night.
But he tried like hell to get it.
Right, he had been auditioning and stuff for it at that point, but
Man, that's crazy. I just can't stand Jimmy Fallon. I mean, going back to the Weekend Update, can't keep a
You never
straight
liked
face.
yeah.
And then he had awful comedy CD, music CD.
Oh, that CD is terrible. The Bathroom
Yeah.
Wall. It's the only
Yeah,
one, right?
it is really bad.
I own that CD, and so it occasionally still shows up on my iPod Shuffle, and skip past it every time.
Yeah.
We saw Jimmy Fallon back in when he was still a feature player on Saturday Night Live. He came to Tacoma and did like a college show.
Yeah, I think he had just started as a feature player, and I remember the girl wrongly announced him as the youngest cast member ever of Saturday Night Live,
Which would have been Anthony Michael Hall, yeah. Anyway, basically the only thing we'd seen him on Saturday Night Live up till that point was an Howard Stern impression that he did.
Yeah, he did a real
Which-
brief Howard Stern impression,
Which was dead on.
yeah.
And I think that was enough for us. Like, hey, it's $11 for a ticket. Let's go see this up and comer. He's in Tacoma, and we saw him. And I remember laughing at the time, but I like to think I have a more sophisticated sense of humor now. But even in Saturday, like Weekend Update, Jimmy Fallon didn't bother me as much. Like I recognize that he's just bullshitting his way through everything on that show, and it's okay for him because girls love him apparently.
And when he
It's-
was on
it's-
that show, he thought he was going to be just the next huge thing, too.
Oh yeah, that book we read, that
Yeah.
biography on Saturday Night Live. Jimmy Fallon is a fucking pompous asshole.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
It's written when he's still on the show, and he's talking about he could already be a millionaire, but saying how carefully he's going to choose the scripts that he's going to do. And I'm reading this after Taxi came out,
yeah.
and Fever Pitch and everything like that. So
I don't know. Maybe the late night form will work for him, though. Maybe he's allowed to giggle. Conan giggles occasionally.
Yeah. But I don't think he's where when he left SNL. If someone said, hey, in 2009, you might be at late night, like he would have been like, I'm going to be so fucking beyond that.
Right.
And they should have given
I'm going to be fucking Will Ferrell.
I just think that they should have given it to more of a nobody. I was disappointed when Ferguson took over for Kilborn, and now I'm disappointed about this.
But at least Stewart took over for Kilborn on The Daily Show, so there is some justice.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But what you're saying is that you were a Kilborn fan. Ferguson came in and ruined the clips
There was a time I was watching Kilby over Conan.
Kilby.
Sure.
Look at that.
Every now and then, I actually used to watch Kilborn over Conan too.
Really,
sometimes.
guys?
He
Way
did some
early. I don't know.
hilarious
I love
things.
Conan now, but
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you, Andy, about 1999, December of 1999? Cast your mind back. December of 1999. Where were
Never
you?
forget.
I can tell you where I was.
where were you?
Fucking New York, seeing Conan O'Brien.
I'll tell you where it was still possible to be, in the Twin Towers.
100th floor of the World Trade Center, Tower 1.
Yeah, I was in New York at Rockefeller Plaza thinking that was the place to be.
Yeah,
If
seriously.
I'd known. But yeah, I did see Conan O'Brien, and it was kind of an amazing thing.
You happened to be there with some good guests, right?
I'll tell you who the guest lineup
I remember
was.
they weren't as lame as like you had originally thought they were going to be.
Well, this is the thing is I knew that I was going to New York a couple months ahead of time. And Conan tickets are free, but you have to kind of give them a heads up on what dates you'll be there. And then you get your free tickets, and then you wait in the hallway at Rockefeller Plaza for like 4 hours looking at the same still frames on the wall. But once you eventually get there, it's, of course, awesome. But the first thing you notice is this is a tiny fucking stage. Like, everything is just so much more condensed than you would think watching the show. Like, they make it seem spread out, because here's Conan dancing around, and then you cut to Max, and the...
that band he's in.
Yeah. The Max Weinberg, whatever that number is. And then, just the way it jumps back and forth and the camera the way it is, you don't realize how small it is, but it is a tiny little place. And so the cool thing about seeing him live was you get there, you're sitting down, and they do like they have a warm-up act, like somebody, they'll come out and get the crowd really reared up, like some hack comedian. So that guy comes out, but then Conan comes out at a certain point, like 10 minutes before air, and Conan comes out himself and is like taking questions from the crowd, like right up in the crowd too. And I remember one guy made him laugh, and so he's like, I gotta give you something, we don't usually give prizes. He runs backstage, is gone for a full minute, comes back, and he has hairspray from his own dressing room that he gives the guy, and I thought that was so fucking hilarious.
That's great.
And then Andy came out, like
Are they cursing before the show?
This is in the Andy Richter days as well, I should point out.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Are they cursing?
It's funny that you mentioned that right as I said the Andy Richter thing, because he introduces Andy, and of course everybody is, cheering. And then I can't remember what their banter was about, but at one point Andy Richter says, fuck. And then Conan says, welcome to the HBO edition of Late Night with Conan O'Brien, and that got a laugh. So, like, it really did do its job in warming the crowd up. And he'd been doing it for quite a few years, even at this point.
Yeah.
So the fact that he comes
About
out personally...
6-7 years.
Like, I'm sure Letterman doesn't come out and, fucking shake people's hands.
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. But the guest that night when I was there, and you have no idea going in, that's the thing. Like, they don't tell you ahead of time. You can't be like, I'll be there for Jim Carrey.
Right.
George Clooney I'll take as a backup. But the night that I was there, Rob Schneider was there promoting, I think, The Animal.
Okay.
The one where he's an animal. You guys remember that one?
Oh, The Animal. Wow.
Julianne Moore was there promoting Magnolia. And Michael Stipe was there, but not performing with REM, just being Michael Stipe, sitting there on the couch talking Michael Stipe talk.
He was like a just sit down and talk to me guy.
Yeah, that's the thing. We assumed the whole time because they tell you like right before they keep it a cock tease up until the like we're gonna go on, and then it's when the announcer says tonight.
Is that why sometimes you don't hear that good of applause?
I can't speak for everybody. But for me, it was not until he was actually announcing it and Conan was about to come out that we knew who was on the show. So you hear Michael Stipe and you think, oh, does he have a solo album coming out, you know? But no, the guy comes out and tells nonsense stories for 8 minutes. But I remember at one point, and we were there with our Uncle Barry.
I wasn't there.
Oh, I remember what Michael Stipe was on for. He wasn't performing, but he had a lot to do, or REM had a lot to do with the Man on the Moon, the Jim Carrey movie, that soundtrack. Yeah. And so he starts talking about, I remember very specifically because I watched the VHS copy of the night that I was there.
I remember right when that drum roll started, you went, woo!
Yeah, and that was me.
Yep.
Anybody go back, watch that episode. That was me wooing one of 18 billion people in that 60 capacity theater. But so Michael Stipe is talking about the remember what's that song? If you believe they put a man on the moon.
Oh, that's on my iPod.
Yeah, and it's clearly about Andy Kaufman. You know that because he says his name in the song like a bunch of times. So he's talking.
Andy Kaufman was a
But I had a second opportunity to woo at that point because he says that he was inspired to write that song for some reason wandering around downtown Seattle. And he mentioned Seattle. And at this point, I'd never lived in Seattle, but I'd at least been there. It's a half-hour drive from where I was living at the time. So I take that as another opportunity.
Tell people you're from there.
Yeah. So I take that as another opportunity to go, woo! Like the second Michael Stipe says Seattle, I'm all about like making an ass of myself in the crowd. And you'll notice like when going back to George Clooney, let's say George Clooney's on Conan O'Brien, he mentions being in Idaho once, and there's always that one or two jackasses. Woo!
Yeah.
And that was me. And part of me, I realized after the fact, was hoping that Conan would shit on me, which he often does.
Make the joke.
He did not shit on me, so I'm just that asshole without the joke to follow it up. Anyway, it was a good time despite that.
Despite not getting trashed.
Yeah.
Conan O'Brien.
And then I went to the NBC store and bought nothing because everything is highly overpriced, even in 1999.
Before that recession, right, guys?
If they'd had a masturbating bear, like a talking plush masturbating bear, I would have bought that.
A wind-up toy?
Yeah. I do remember our friend Nick Kay. He does that...
Former friend.
Former friend, that's what I meant to say. They had a lot of Conan-related memorabilia in the store, and one of his big segments is the if they mated. Like, what if Mandy Moore fucked Sasquatch? This is what it'll look like. There's a whole book of that, and so it's basically a picture book, and I knew Nick Kay would appreciate that.
But you didn't buy it for him?
I did buy it for him.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, because I knew he wasn't fond of words, and this had hardly any.
But the thing is, Nick kept it for himself the whole time. So.
Brotherhood! Brotherhood! Nick are out of control. They will crash the airwaves with the microphone. So sit down tight and listen close. All the ladies now take off your clothes.
Thanks for listening to Planned Brotherhood. You can give us a call at 206-666-5931 or email us at info@plannedbrotherhood.com about any topic. Nick and I did just go to prom last week, so if you have any interesting prom stories, we'd love to hear them. Also, we can be found on iTunes, and feel free to leave us a review there.